We're back. We are back in a legendary.
It's been so long.
It's been long, and it's been beautiful because this is the most legendary moment in the history of time in Giant Up. It's a playoff podcast. Sam Prince is coming on, and could be any second. We don't even know when he's going to fly on, but it's going to be absolutely epic. We have Giant playoff to watch on Sunday. How do you feel about the playoffs coming up, Riv?
Oh my God, man. It's felt like a year. These last couple of weeks, it felt like a year.
Yeah.
Like once we knew we were locked, and then last week me and Joe decided not to do the pod, get our minds right, and kind of get ready for this big weekend, big game coming up. It felt like a year, man. And you know what? Last week was cool. We got to see some things.
Yeah.
Right. Some interesting things, I'd say, that we'll get to. But man, I'm excited. I can't believe how excited I am. It's just it's nice. And me and Joe been talking about it all year long. It's like having something to look forward to at this time of the year isn't something that we're used to. In at least in the recent past, last couple of years, we have not been at this time of the year. You know, I'm full blown. I'm on the Knicks. I'm worrying about the Yankees' upcoming season. The Giants had already disappointed me beyond belief, but we're here and we're so ready, and I'm so ready, and it's just I think things are clicking for us.
Things are clicking. We wanted to draw the matchup against the Vikings again, and that is
what we wanted.
Exactly what happened. We didn't want the Niners. We wanted the Vikings in round one. That's what we got. The rematch.
Oh my God. Yeah. I mean, I think you might have said in one of the earlier pods, as soon as we lost to them, you're like, this was like a playoff game. That was like a playoff game that we lost.
Right.
And we wanted that, and we wanted it. We said, we were like, yeah, we want them. If we could get them first round, like we want them.
Yeah.
And that's what we got. And oh my God, I think apparently, and I don't know I don't want to jump around too much, but apparently a lot of people are agreeing with us that the Giants are going to have their number.
Yeah. And that makes me nervous
when they finished 13-4.
Hop on the bandwagon. Yeah, everyone's on the Giants bandwagon now, and I don't like that. No. I want to be the underdog still. I don't like that everyone's like, yo, watch out for the Giants.
There's not enough room on this bandwagon.
Yeah, get off. Like
you got to fill a form out.
Shit in the beginning, get off.
You got to fill a form out. And we got to do background checks. You're not just hopping on the bandwagon.
You can't just hop on the bandwagon late and act like you were along for this entire journey. And I also think it's going to be massive because our secondary was gutted the first time we played the Vikings. And now we're going to have a fully healthy Xavier McKinney and probably a Dory Jackson as well. Like
our secondary was gutted all year.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. There's so many fakes out there, man. There's a lot of fakes out in the media and ESPN and all these analysts. It's man. Like maybe me and Joe will scavenge up a TikTok. But yeah, I was just watching ESPN the other day, and you got people like, yeah, that Giants defense is fully healthy. When that Giants defense is fully healthy, like they're hard to beat. I was like, okay, wait, stop.
What are you talking?
Where was this? Yeah, what are you don't even know what you're talking. Like, I was just like, okay. So you're reading off a teleprompter. So enough. Yeah. You don't know what you're talking about. I do agree with you, but coming out of your mouth, don't like it.
Yeah,
I mean, but it's true. Our defense is fully healthy, and we're at full blown capacity. I'd imagine that whatever was going on at that Giants facility this week was electric.
Yeah,
the energy's got to be off the charts, man.
Energy's got to be off the charts. The energy's got to be crazy.
The energy's got to be crazy. I feel like you know what's so cool too, man, that like who the hell knows what DJ's thinking? He's such a low key guy, man. He's turning into like this. He's like the Christian Bale of football.
Yeah.
he's flying under the radar, man. And everybody, he's all over ESPN right now. They're chatting up him and Saquon's contract extensions and how it's like the Giants they got to re-sign him, which me and you do agree with. I mean, the guy had a hell of a year. So I don't know, man. It's cool to see what ESPN, but I like how, he's not out here tweeting, posting. He's just doing his homework probably. He's a student. He's a student of the game.
He's a student.
He's in full-blown student mode.
Yeah, and it's it is funny because you literally don't ever hear about Daniel Jones and you don't ever hear about what he's doing. I saw actually something on Barstool. Someone from Barstool said that Daniel Jones, she was out to dinner and she saw Daniel Jones was hammered.
Yo,
and I was like,
plastered. Hannah Cook,
which is which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Like,
was that BS though?
I don't know. Who knows what she's talking? Yeah, I don't even want to spread that whatever that was, that falseness about my guy DJ. But yeah, I don't know. Whatever that means. But regardless, I like Dable had an interesting take. He said that playoff experience is overrated.
I love that.
Which is cool. Which is cool to say. But
while we're waiting, reading an interesting article before, actually. I'm glad you brought this up naturally.
Yeah.
So, and I'm not sure what this stands for. I was trying to figure this out. You know what? I might still have Google up. But anyway, I'm reading this article. Daniel Jones makes his first career playoff start this week versus the Vikings. Since 2002, quarterbacks making their first NFL playoff start have gone 18-36 SU and 17-36-1 ATS, including 0-3 SU/ATS last season. And then it says not including Derek Carr versus Derek Joe, both made first start versus each other. What do you think that stands for? SU and ATS?
I have no idea.
I was literally like reading this and I was like, oh, like these are numbers with nothing that I don't know nothing about.
Yeah, I don't even know what that is, which is interesting. It's like, yeah, what is that?
Oh, it says straight up here. Straight up in sport SU, straight up in it says it might stand for straight up.
Straight up. All right. I mean,
here we go. What is it? Here we go. I found an article here while we're waiting anyway. Yeah, it's straight up and against the spread. Oh, okay.
Against the spread, the betting terms. Okay.
The betting terms. And we like to save that for the end, but why not? Joe brought up. So, wow. All right. 18-36 straight up, and there's 17-36-1 against the spread. So that's almost like even that would break out to, right?
Yeah, a little low. Like, I mean, they're not going 500, but
no.
I mean, the beauty is that we drew the matchup that we wanted. It is Daniel Jones's first game. We'll see how he does against. I mean, the spread is quite favorable. Everyone across the world, Vegas, every single sports announcer now everyone's giving the Giants respect. Everyone's giving Dable respect. Hopefully he wins Coach of the Year, which I truly think he deserves. I don't care what your record was in the NFL. I don't know if there was another coach that could have brought this Giants team to the playoffs. There was literally minuscule talent on this team at certain points during the season. And now
I completely agree with you. I don't even think there's no other coach. I think, you know what? I love Andy Reid. That's about it. Well, that's the only guy I'll say. Yeah. He's a legend. Oh.
Here we go. Sam Prince has arrived. Sam, man, it's great to see you, man. Great to have you back on the pod. I don't know if you met my co-host Justin yet, but hey, man, it's great to have you back on the pod. What's up, my man?
Nice to meet you, man. It's a pleasure.
Great to meet you, Justin. Great to see you again, Joe. It's great to be on the pod again.
Oh, man, I'm so pumped to have you back. Dude, I mean, the funny thing is the last time we did the podcast was before the season started, and now the regular season has completely concluded, and our thoughts were probably much different going into that first podcast.
Going into the regular season, I thought this team was going to win 6 wins.
Yes, I think that's what we both predicted, around 6 wins.
I wasn't there for that pre-pod, but I might have been lower than that. I might have had lower hopes.
I almost put 4 wins, but I put a little bias to it. I put 6. The Giants, Davis Webb is the best quarterback of his team in the preseason. And no disrespect for my main man Davis Webb here, but he played pretty well against Philly.
He absolutely.
He did his thing. He did his thing for sure. I mean, yeah, no, you're right. I mean, but I think that's just kind of funny that we're talking about this right now, because that kind of brings it back to the point that we're talking about, that nobody was going to bring us here besides Dable. Like, he did it for us, man. And obviously we had DJ leading the way as well. But I mean, I think that this good coaching just brought us so far this year. It was incredible, and made it fun to watch, made it, I don't know, man. It's exciting.
Who is the coach of the year, Brian Dable?
I think so.
Question?
I think so.
I
That's what
mean-
we were saying before. I really think he deserves it. Like I don't think there's another coach in the league, I said before, that could have brought this team to the playoffs. Obviously, there's some
No.
other incredible coaches out there, but
The only other coach who I can see win Coach of the Year is Doug Peterson.
Yeah, but I don't even see
Yeah.
that. I agree. But I don't even see that happening either. I think it's got to just be, it's so funny because sports are so heavy politic related, obviously. Like even, that first team All Pro came out, and I think everybody in the whole nation was like, a couple names were kind of gypped out there. There's always people gypped out. The awards are very political, show off kind of things. But I think that if it comes down to the actual numbers, it's not really an argument. Like if we're going purely off the numbers, I don't think it's an argument with what we were working with.
Pro team, so we're happy about that.
yes.
Yeah, that's huge for Dex, man. That was awesome. Next to some big names there, man. Dex is young too. I love that.
Incredible. It's absolutely incredible. You got to meet Davis Webb briefly after the game, right? How was that experience?
I've met him at training camp at the practice.
Oh, you met him at training camp. Oh, so you may have thrown up. I saw you throw up a picture with him on the Instagram.
Yeah. That's just
after the game
from training camp. Yeah, Davis is a great guy. I love Davis. I've been a big fan of him. When I saw that he was get to start, I was extremely happy for him. His first career start, got his first pass touchdown and his first rushing touchdown, and he got Kenny Galladay his first Giants touchdown.
Yeah, let's talk about that a little bit. How do you feel about that, Sam? How do you feel about Kenny G getting his first TD and getting his action last week against Philly? How'd you feel about that?
I mean, Kenny Galladay will not win this team next year, no matter what happens in the playoffs. If he becomes Julian Edelman playoff like or Jerry Rice, he's still not going to on this team next year, no matter what.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Who wants to eat up that contract next year? Nobody does.
No, you're right. So I guess a better question would be, what are your expectations for him this week? Do you think his role changes?
He has to play a little bit.
Yeah, I think they gotta after that TD catch last week. I think that we would be stupid if we don't think that on some of those red zone snaps he's going to be.
Yeah, that's where you play.
You know what I mean?
Red zone threat. You have him as a red zone threat and nothing else.
I mean, that's what we paid him all the money for, right? And it took how many weeks to pay off?
To catch a touchdown with the Giants till last Sunday. Before last Sunday, Kenny Galladay and the three of us and Kadarius Toney all had the same amount of Giants career touchdown catches.
No, it's so true. That's crazy to think about, but yeah, it's insane. Oh my God. Joe, what do you think?
Well, I said a similar thing about Kenny Galladay, where you have to give the respect to Isaiah Hodgins, Darius Slayton, and Richie James, who stepped into roles they didn't think they'd have and have been playing pretty good, have exceeded expectations. And I don't think Kenny's going to carve into any of their playing time, but I can see him getting some more snaps, like you said, in the red zone. I could definitely see that.
And, let's just talk about this right now. Isaiah Hodgins is the wide receiver one on this team. He came from the Bills practice squad. That was just credit to Joe Shane for finding the talent.
I agree. And he's been great for us, man. And I talk about it all the time that I love guys who could buy in like more than anything. And he completely just was like the template for the Giants player that we needed this year. He came in, picked them up, and he bought into what we had going on, and he blew through the roof expectations. And it's awesome. I agree with it.
A player who does not get enough credit as he deserves, or I give credit where credit deserves, is Darius Slayton. There were so many trade rumors, he would get cut. Did he complain once? Did he not show up to practice? He showed up to practice. He didn't complain. Wasn't a starter. Didn't complain. Was there, and he was a team player.
Yeah, no, he put his head down and he worked. And guys like Richie James too. I mean, our whole receiving core essentially did the same thing. I mean, Sterling, Shep went down early, and I love Shep. Shout out Shep. He's one of my favorite Giants. Yeah, shout out Shep, one of my favorite Giants. But yeah, no, he went down early, and we had these guys buy in and put their head down and work, and it was awesome. And it was like you can make a 30 for 30 on the Giants team. Nobody would watch besides us three, maybe, but
I'd watch it.
I would love it. It'd be incredible.
The ins and outs of Kadarius Toney.
Oh my God! Imagine, you got the Cardinals on Hard Knocks during the season this year. It should have been the G-Man. Mm-hmm. Talk about viewership. I mean, oh my God, who would have been watching that?
A Hard Knocks and see Kadarius Toney, what he's like.
Oh my God, he would have been exposed. That would have been it for him. You know what? He probably would have still been a Giant because he knew it would have tarnished his whatever's left of his name.
No, I think he still would have been this. I still think he would have been a Giant.
You think he's just too much of a diva? He would have just nothing could have changed.
I think he's a diva. I just don't think he meshes with the team.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I was pissed off and just furious when the Giants drafted him. Mm-hmm. But going this season, I've spoken about this with you, Joe.
Mm-hmm.
I said I'm not a big Kenny Galladay fan. I think if there's being a wide receiver that shows up, it's Kadarius Toney and Richie James. I was right about Richie James, dead wrong about Kadarius Toney.
I think everybody shared that, though, right? Joe, you felt that way too. You loved KT before all this stuff happened.
Yeah, and I still won't. I thought he was the most talented receiver on the Giants, and I kept saying that. And I still believe that he has an uber amount of talent, but it just there was a disconnect with the Giants.
No, Joe, the offense has to be perfectly shaped to his liking. If there is one thing, it's no, I'm not going to play. Yeah, not going to play. No.
Exactly.
No. Kadarius Toney is injury prone. He is not a long-term wide receiver in this NFL. He will not be in the league for long, as I said before. Toney is not a good wide receiver. When the Giants traded for him, they got a 3rd and 6th rounder. Just a friendly reminder that he has more songs released on Spotify than receptions in the league.
That's
crazy.
That's another wild stat.
So
you've done a couple wild ones out there.
So if you're really trading for that, I mean, that just props up the Joe Shane right there.
Oh, 100%. I said that too. Once I saw that trade, and it's hard to get draft picks for players in the NFL. It's a very difficult thing to do. You see some really good players in the NFL get traded and not even yielding that much return in terms of draft picks. When I saw that they got a 3rd and a 6th for Kadarius Toney, I was blown about it.
2/3.
Mm-hmm.
2/3.
Oh yeah.
What you do? I'm Joe Shane. I trade that 3rd and the 2024 4th for Brandon Ayuk.
Interesting.
I saw a lot of Brandon Ayuk stuff this past week actually as well. And I mean, I love that, but it's actually super funny that we're even talking about Brandon Ayuk, and I love Brandon Ayuk personally, but I think he's great. But it's like in your mind, like when we drafted KT, he was that Brandon Ayuk-ish kind of receiver.
I give a chance.
You know what I mean?
Him, you a 3rd round pick, or no, not even your 4th. Do the draft picks you got from the Chiefs, so you're basically doing Kadarius Toney for Brandon Ayuk. I would do it if I'm Joe Shane. He has so much upside to him, and the Niners aren't going to be able to pay him. Why not take the chance on a young receiver like that? And you still drafted a receiver in the 1st round, which after today, the OBJ incident, I don't think Odell's going to be a Giant.
I don't know if Odell's going to be in football pads again. It's just, he was kind of
huge Odell fan.
Yeah, I'm a big Odell fan too, but he was, and I watched the videos and I kind of did a little of my own research on it, and it's whatever, it's give or take, however people feel about it. But like the way he was on Twitter, like, I don't care what anybody else thinks about me. Like, and I was kind of just like he was kind of, I feel like he was starting to shy away from that spotlight. And now it's just like slowly, it's like a dark cloud coming back over him. But I mean, the football off seasons are long, and he's obviously not on the team right now, so everything blows over eventually. But I agree. I don't see him being a Giant again. I don't see it.
Before today, I was for sure it's be a Giant. I was sure.
I thought so too. I actually watched I was watching a video game streamer that Odell he was like hopped on his stream and he was playing Call of Duty with him. And he was like giving out little hints. And he was pretty much like talking about, he went into this whole story, long and short, about how he wants to go to a team that he feels like, you know, he could kind of be the guy. And he said that he wanted to finish something that he originally started.
Oh, so bad. I mean, I would love for Odell to get a team, but I just don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah.
No, I think now that's I don't think that's a realistic possibility for us now. But again, I think backtracking the Brandon Ayuk thing, I think would be great. He's a great young receiver, and he's kind of he's probably played better than Debo this year, right? In terms of producing.
The fact that Debo was injured, but
yeah, but still, I think he produced, and I think that he probably wants to get out under, because I think technically he's kind of still under Debo's shadow. I think he could come to the Giants and make like a real name for himself.
I agree.
I believe that. I have a question for you both along the same topic, because we know that there's another receiver now as well that's looking like they're going to be available in the offseason. Deandre Hopkins.
I know where you're going.
Yeah, I know where you're going with that.
So, Sam, you first. What do you like? We saw the impact that Stephon Diggs going to Buffalo had, and that was the same exact people over in Buffalo making that move happen. So a similar move could happen for the Giants. Do you think that's realistic? Would you want that, or would you want to move into that younger direction with Ayuk, who might actually maybe play off better in the future, but you never know?
Well, Joe, I don't think DeAndre Hopkins is going to cost a team a first-round pick due to his age and due to his contract. D-Hop is still a top 5 receiver in this game. If the Giants call up the Arizona Cardinals and trade a second and next year's third, something like that, the Cardinals, I'm taking it. I'm doing it.
Yeah.
But it has to be, it cannot be for a first round pick because I don't know how many years of prime D-Hop we have. I would go for 2 and 3. I would also explore the opportunities for a Brandon Ayuk trade, but if it's a second this year and a third next year, I don't see how you would say no to that if you're Joe Shane, because you're getting a proven wide receiver that you're already going to draft in the league, and then you can go ahead and draft another wide receiver in the draft this year, whether it's a Quentin Johnson, Jack Smith Jr., or a Jordan Addison, whoever's going to fall to you. You have that receiver. You groom him to be that one next to D-Hop. And now your wide receiver core. And I'm going to say this, I think if you have that, the Giants are going to go with a 4 wide receiver set with D-Hop, their rookie first-round pick receiver, Sterling Shepard, and Wan'Dale Robinson. Then you have Saquon Barkley and Daniel Jones, assuming they're going to come back. That's a pretty good weapon. Those are some pretty good weapons. And, of course, you have your tight end of Daniel Bellinger.
I love those weapons. Riv, what do you think about the potential?
Yeah, man, I don't know. I think it's like when you weigh out the pros and cons, I think it could go either way. I think I'm a little 50-50 on it still right now. It's still like semi-recent. Like, it's like when I look at it and how I look at anything in any sport, it's like what's his expiration date, you know? And when you think about the Giants, it's like, we're good now. We want to get better next year. If we could get D-Hop next year for, like what Sam said, something that's not going to, you know, break our pockets, I think I'd be in. But I would want something else too. Like, I would want another piece as well. I wouldn't want to, you know, throw the whole house at them and then
that's what I said, depending on the trade.
Yeah.
Because I think Joe Shea knows that DeAndre Hopkins is not worth a first-round pick.
Yeah, and that would be too much if they traded a first, and that's where things start to get a little dicey. I don't think I'd want them to do that either. But if the price was right for D-Hop, I think that I would also want it. It would be hard to refuse that, just from a standpoint of being a fan and seeing him in a Giants jersey. lined up for Daniel Jones. It would be.
If there was a year to do it, man, it'd be next year. It'd be next year. I feel like it'd be a little bit of a revenge, like because he's a dog. He's been a dog his whole career. So I feel like next year, new team. After the Cardinals kind of were like, here,
He only got traded for a second and third rounder, and the Cardinals are looking to get rid of everyone. I mean, maybe it's second and third rounder again.
Yeah, maybe he needs some new threads too, man, because he loves to play football and he wants to be out there. And I think the Giants would be a cool team for him to come to that kind of are, in the middle of rebuilding something, but in a really successful, progressive way that we've shown this year. And I think that it'd be cool. Like, I don't know, man. I mean, DJ is becoming somebody who's attractive to other players to play with. And I think that was an issue before. And I think that was
good. Players want to play for the Giants.
Yeah, exactly. And that I completely agree on that. That's pretty much what I was getting to. But it was like in the beginning of the year, immediately, I think that might be a little bit of Kenny Galladay's issue from the get, that like DJ wasn't somebody that he was kind of like whatever about DJ. And I think that no matter what people say, like wide receivers feel that way about quarterbacks. You've seen it for years and years and decades over this league. And I think and now I think it kind of bit him in the ass. And like Kenny G's on the bench while you got guys, we're picking up guys from practice squads. We're about to make a career for
the Giants were trying to do what the Bills did with Stephon Diggs. But they got the wrong guy.
Right.
You're right. Yeah, you're right. That's actually great analogy.
Let's just be dreamers here and say DeAndre Hopkins is a New York Football Giant. What number does he wear? Because 10's retired.
Yeah.
That's
interesting. Does he wear 6 just like in college?
Ooh, that'd be cool. Isn't Shep 6 or is
no,
he 8?
Shep's 3.
Shep's 3.
6.
3. Yeah. Okay. Wow, that'd be interesting. That'd be cool, man. I don't know.
That'd be cool. I mean, we've been dreamers really before. Cool. We dreamed of Kayvon Thibodeau, and he fell in our laps. And
I dreamed of Kayvon Thibodeau too.
Yeah,
dreamed of him.
We had playoff aspirations.
That's your boy, Sam.
We thought it would take a few years, and now we're in the playoffs. We drew the matchup. We were saying before too. This was the matchup that I wanted. I think this is what a lot of Giant fans wanted. I wanted to play the Vikings again in the first round because I felt like we had a chance to beat them. How do you feel about that?
I wanted to, but I just wanted to get in the playoffs first.
Oh, yeah, for sure. But yeah, I
think
this
matchup, the Giants are going to win this weekend. They're going to beat the Vikings. They're going to contain Justin Jefferson. They have Adoree Jackson back and Xavier McKinney. Yeah, they lost to Heartbreaker in Minnesota, but players were saying they want to play them again, and they want to prove to the world that they were a better team than the Vikings. That was a heartbreaker to watch.
Oh, yeah.
I knew they were going to lose that game. I watched that game. I'm like, they're going to lose. They're going to lose. They're going to lose. I'm like, he's going to make the kick.
Yeah.
Watch my brother, my mom. I was like, oh, yeah, 61-yarder. They're going to go in. My Max is like, my brother, it's going to be this. I'm like, nope, he's going to make it. It's like, he's going to make it. Like, right before he kicks it off, after he says he's not, it's like, he's going to make him. Like, he's going to make. You just know. You knew it. I'm like, just heartbreak. All the things were right for us to clinch the playoffs that day.
It was hard. We knew that.
So we're in our final 10, Sam, and me and Joe got a little tradition here. Right when we break into that 10 minutes left of our pod, we start to talk about the upcoming game and what we think about and what Vegas thinks. So we got it's our classic Vikings -3. Vikings finished 13-4. Giants finished 9-7-1. I would say for 80% of our games this year, we were underdogs.
We were under
more than that?
Vikings. 12 out of their 13 wins have been one-score games.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
so
insane.
how do you
teams score games, but the Vikings luck is going to run out soon, and the Giants luck isn't gonna get midnight yet.
No, I think our luck's only gonna, I think it's gonna. We got at least a few weeks left. I think we built something. I think we just worked harder, and maybe not. I don't know. what was going over in Minnesota, but we really worked for this. I think we're a little bit hungrier than them. Like I said, they're 13-4. We were 9-7-1.
Our way. We're gonna do it our way.
We're gonna do it our way. So what do you think about in terms of a little final score prediction for Sunday? What do you think? 425 ball drop.
24-21 Giants.
He already knows, man. I was all over that too. Joe, what do you got?
Was that the score of the Giants Vikings game when they lost?
It was 27-24.
27-24. That would be, I like 24-21. That's always the range that all year we've been doing the score predictions. That's always the range I've been keeping the Giants in, and around the mid-20s is where I feel like they've been scoring to where they've been winning, and their defense has been holding teams to under that. 24-21 is great. I think it's going to be 27-21. I think we're actually going to beat them by 6. I think it's going to come down to the wire, though, and I think it's going to be a Daniel Jones game-winning touchdown.
I love that.
I think they're going to win 27-21.
I love that. So so Joe actually hit the nail on the head there with what the over-under is, which is 48. So, Joe, you get right over to 48. I'm loving an under. I think our defense coming back full-fledged, healthy. I think that we're going to win this game 24-17. I think we're letting up 2 touchdowns and a field goal, and that's it. I think Greg Joseph I think Greg Joseph is going to get a field goal blocked, or he's going to smoke one because they owe us one because he hit that absolute prairie dog of a kick last time to put us away. So I think we're going to get our poetic justice this week.
Hey, as long as Giants win, that's all I care about.
There's no option. There's no other option. We're winning this game. We're coming in. Our game plan's going to get executed. We got our guys that are going to do their job, and that's it. That's it. That's been the Giants' way. It's been the Giants' way this whole year. We came in, we've had a game plan. When we executed it, we were successful. When we didn't execute it fully, we fell up short a couple times. And it's very, very in terms of with what we're working with the whole year and what we've had going on, it's got to be to a T. And this game especially, being that it's that playoff atmosphere. We haven't been here yet. This is DJ's first time. Everything's got to it's got to work out perfectly for us.
It does hurt me a little bit. The Giants only beat one playoff team this year.
Mm-hmm.
It was a weird year in the NFL, though. It was a weird year in the NFL. I guess when you look at it that way, for sure. But there's a couple of those teams that, that we
actually no, they beat
those bubble.
Sorry, my fault. Two teams they beat, the Jaguars and the Ravens.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what I was about to say though is there was a lot of of those bubble playoff teams. I mean, the Lions couldn't have heated up at a worse time for themselves. It's like I almost feel bad for them. I think they were a really good team.
They heated up when the Giants were cooling down that week right before Thanksgiving when they played the Cowboys. I thought the Giants were going to win, but I'm like, are you serious? They're going to lose? Watch this game. I was there. That was a fun game, though, even though they lost.
Mm-hmm. That was a fun game. Before we wrap up here, Sam, do you have anything that you want to talk about that you've been doing recently? Anything that you want to plug? I saw that you were doing a couple of charity things. I saw a while ago that you were doing a charity thing with Aziz Ojulari, right? And you got to meet him. That's incredible.
Wow, that's really cool, man.
Such a cool dude.
Yeah.
So speaking of Aziz, so I did a charity event with him and the Boys and Girls Club, an Amped event. So Amped invited me. I did some media stuff with them, interviewed Aziz, really cool guy. We were talking Georgia football, and he said it wasn't even close, and it wasn't going to be even a competition for the Bulldogs to get their back-to-back natties.
Well,
I saw you were there.
Yes, that was like the most incredible moment of my life, being there with my cousin, who's a massive Georgia fan, and that was just wild. Let's go, Dogs! Incredible.
So so I do my podcast, Prince on the Pod. You follow me on Instagram and TikTok. You can follow me on Instagram, and my Twitter is SamThePrince14. You also follow me on Instagram, SamThePrince14 too. And some other things I'm doing. last night. I was at the Giants playoff preview. I thought, sorry, I had to push this back to another day. I thought you were doing 7 West Coast time.
No, you're good.
I didn't realize. So yeah, I was there last night. Got to see Bob Papa and all the other guys there last night. Look, next week for the Giants, if they beat the Vikings, they're gonna play the Eagles. I am contemplating to go.
That'd be unbelievable.
I am
That'd be really cool.
To break the bank and go.
I think we would need you in the stands, man. We would need you out there.
It's a lot of money. It's a lot of money now.
Yes.
Can't put a price tag on a memory, man. Can't put a price tag.
You're
on
right, but you know what? We gotta beat Minnesota before we can even talk about it.
Yeah, no, one step at a time. One step at a time. But I love you said it with confidence, though. That's why I loved it.
Man, I'm confident we're gonna win. I haven't been this confident for a Giants game in years. Last time the Giants were in the playoffs was that Packers game, which I thought they were going to win.
Me too.
Yeah. Yep.
And I'm afraid the same thing's happening this time. Giants fans are getting overconfident. NFC North opponent. I'm afraid this is the same thing.
Yeah, it does have that same feel to it, doesn't it? Let's hope history doesn't rewrite itself, though. I'm really excited for this game. And Joe, before you said the national championship was the best moment of your life, until we go to a Giants Super Bowl. How about that?
How
about us? Yeah, and we get a victory. That'll be the best moment of your life. That'll be the best moment of my life.
Man, that'd be epic. That'd be epic. But yeah, Sam, man, thank you so much for coming back on the podcast, dude. It's honestly always such a pleasure to have you. I'm so excited for this playoff game. I know everybody's excited for this playoff game. It's been such a long season, and now we're about to see where we fare in some playoff football against the Minnesota Vikings on the road. And I'm excited for one.
I'm excited too.
Hey, let's go out there. Let's get a win. Sam, thank you, man. It was nice meeting you. It was awesome chopping it up. I could have gone for another hour or two. I could have went until we fell asleep, but let's save it for next week, eh? We'll talk about our win.
Of course.
All right, boys. Giant up. We out.